Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art, and I am so excited to be back with a really quick, just let me pop in here and give you some updates video. We are 28 days postpartum. We are nearing on a month with baby boy, and it just feels really nice to be home and to have been Mommy. Yes. So a lot has been happening since my last video, maybe over a month ago. I wanted to just hop on here and give you some updates. I have wanted to put out a video like legitimately every week since the last video because things have been happening, folks. Things have been happening. But every second that I would spend to record and then the minutes that it would take to edit and upload and all of that were minutes that I either was not prepping for baby, finishing up with work, dealing with the regular life stuff, or sewing and prepping for the wedding. So it just felt like there was no time at all to do the things. I even for a second was like, you know, you could use your community tab, Fatmata. You don't always have to make it a video. Just like post the photo, let the people know what's happening. And for some reason, I'm just like, no, I have to do like this. There's a way in my mind I wanted to get the information out to you guys, and I just had a mental block of just like, you can just post a little quick thing. Anyway, so I'm going to be here with what I hope to be a like no fuss, not big on editing sort of video, just wanting to catch you up. You know, as we enter that like 1 month phase, it's been a whirlwind of a time. If you've had an infant in your life, you know, it's busy over here. It's tiring. And I've still been like, you know, doing all of the other things. I have a 5 and a 4-year-old, almost 6 and 5, y'all. Wow. And, you know, I was finishing up with work prior to the baby arriving, and we're still gearing up for the wedding. We are T-minus 7 days until my best friend's wedding. So there's a lot happening. Since we last spoke, the very week that I posted that video, I had called out to you all to figure out if there was a way to get a PDF pattern that did not come in A0 format printed, like at the large scale. I didn't get any feedback on a printing service that anyone knew from our tribe, at least, that did that. However, sewing bestie Tashana heard our call and was like, listen, I will go out to a Joann's nearby and then see if they have the Know Me pattern. Thank you, Tashana. So she got us the pattern. Deneen went out, my best friend went out to go and pick it up, and we got to cutting. A couple of things that also came up. Even if you all would have given us a recommendation on a place that would have like patched together the different pieces, we couldn't have used it anyways because the Know Me pattern did not come with an AO version anyways. So that was annoying. And then also because it had 2 different pattern size brackets, I had purchased the size 16 to 24 pack, and we had determined that my best friend actually needed a size 14. So either way, would have had to have bought a new pattern. So I was really happy that Tashana was able to go and grab this for us. So we got the size 6 to 14 packet. All right, so we went out. We cut out the size 14 pattern pieces. I did just cut straight into the tissue paper one time too. It was the largest size in the pack. We just went for it. And what did I do, y'all? I made a toile because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that's all on me, y'all. So I made a quick and dirty toile, what I should have done to begin with. This took me no time at all. I was mostly concerned with the bodice piece, so I just did the bodice fronts, none of the lining pieces, the back, the under and upper collar, just because in order to really get a feel for the collar, you kind of have to do both the under and upper collar, in my opinion, or the facing as well. So I did that, and I just cut out one sleeve just to kind of check. I used a cotton fabric that I thrifted a while ago, like 6 yards of this bad boy for about $7. And it allowed me to kind of, you know, piece together the 2-part sleeve. You know, I didn't do the lining, but I was able to kind of just see like a bit of how the construction on the sleeve would go, easing that in. And it fit Deneen perfectly. Size 14 was definitely the way to go. And when I look back at the actual like body measurements, like her bust size with the body measurements would have put her at a size 18. So we sized down 2 sizes to the size 14, and that worked out well. And that is actually how I often work with commercial patterns like Simplicity and McCall's. Often my measurements would put me at a size 16, and I almost always cut a size 12. So I was like, oh, I should have thought about that, but that's fine. I did end up making the alterations. She did end up being able to wear this. However, it wasn't worn to the bridal shower. She actually wore it on the bachelorette party at a really nice dinner. So that was nice. I was able to salvage the bottom portion of the blazer here, which we had originally cut out at a size 18. I did a lot of grading of the seams, a lot of like deepening darts and different things like that, but we made it work. So that's a big update. I think I was complaining about some feathers that had been delivered to me. I did send those back, and I do want to point out, while the packaging was still really disrespectful, I did want to just say the length of the feathers, that was my bad. The feathers that I previously purchased were longer, like 4 to 6 inches. And then the ones that came that I had ordered did say that they were going to be a bit shorter. So that was me as far as sizing, but still the packaging was kind of, it wasn't nice. So I did go ahead and order some new feathers, and I like this packaging as well. So that's how that came. It's still in the wrap because I don't know if I'm going to actually end up using it. Again, we're 7 days away from the wedding. I'm just trying to make sure I have a bridesmaid's dress to wear. So, yeah. The style shorts, I did cut them out of the fashion fabric that were supposed to go with the blazer. I did construct them primarily. They are hanging here because the shorts in this style pattern are cut on the bias. They did begin to drop a little bit, so, but they're still here. And unfortunately, I should have probably made this as I was sort of in flux with the Erica Bunker backless blazer pattern so that it had time to drop on the bias, because unfortunately, the day that I finished like constructing these, that night I went into labor. So good thing Deneen walked out of here with the blazer though that night, because then she had it. Any hoosers. I am currently in the, another thing that we did that we twirled was Simplicity 8328, and we did this view right here, this halter, so view A. We went with the size 14 for this. It's just a really cute, simple halter. And this I twirled because I was trying to figure out if we could do like a feathered top moment. That's what the feathers were for, and that's what this pattern is for. Again, we haven't revisited this because I have a newborn. So yeah, I'm making no additional promises for the bridal collection other than my bridesmaid's dress at this time. And once I get through that and then trying to be available for anything else we need wedding related, then all this other stuff we could see about it. So other things that were happening leading, like since we last spoke, you know, Ramadan, we were observing the month of Ramadan. And that was just, you know, it's always a really beautiful month, a great time for reflection, a great time for just like gratitude, seeking forgiveness, trying to do as many good deeds and just like pour into yourself, pour into your faith and grow your connection to God and all of those sorts of things. So it was a really, really good month. It's hard when you can't fast. Like I wasn't fasting this Ramadan, so that's always like challenging to really get into it for me. So just trying to find ways to do that. And then having our son in the month of Ramadan on a Friday just felt so special. Yeah, it was good nonetheless, right? Like we just pray that we get to see another Ramadan, inshallah. So I'm, you know, really grateful. And, you know, having the support of my family, I'm really, really blessed. I live close to a lot of my family, so having people like help us with cooking and food, and I had to go back to the hospital, and having my sister and my mom able to like come and help out with the baby while I had to go back to the hospital and things like that. So amazing. And you just sort of lean into that like really grateful feeling of like, wow, you know, I have support, I'm taken care of, all of the things. So I've just been feeling really good right now. I've been trying to push through like all of the tiredness and fatigue because I'm still like, we still got stuff to do. Still got stuff to do. So this brings us up to speed on what I'm working on right now, which is my bridesmaid's dress. I was originally toiling ME2068, which was a new to me pattern. Like, I've never sewn this before. I was going to use the bodice of View C right here. I have that toiled here on the mannequin, and I just did the one sleeve again just to check. And there were just so many fit issues with it, like gaping and some things just not laying right. I wanted it to be quite fitted in the bodice, and it wasn't. But then when I look at the photo of the lady here, I can actually tell, yeah, it's not as fitted, right? Like, I see a bit of bunching, if it will focus. I see a bit of bunching there. So maybe it's not meant to like be snatched, especially because it doesn't have any darts at the waistline. So it's just darts at the bust, if that will focus. So it's just darts at the bust line. And then the bottom of the bodice just sort of curves to give you the shaping that goes into the skirt piece. So I think because of that, it's not like super fitted and snatched, which I didn't love that much. So then I was writing out in my journal like all of the different edits, like take it in here, you know, grade between these sizes. And I was like, Fatmata, take a step back. Do we need to be working with a new pattern at this time when you have no time at all to sew in between like naps, nursing the baby, and all of these other things? So I decided to take it back to an old faithful. Okay. So we busted out Simplicity 8875. I have now made this pattern, or I previously made this pattern 4 times. I love the bodice of it. I love that empire waistline. I just adore it. And I had done a hack where I added a waistline seam and then put a double circle skirt on it once before. And then another time for a Mother's Day dress, I added a waistline and then put on there just a gathered skirt. And I love it. I loved it so much. So I decided, don't reinvent the wheel, not today. Let's go back to this. So I did go back to this pattern. I previously cut out a size 12, but then through making the pattern so many times, like, had eaten at the pattern pieces down to a size 10. So we busted out a new pattern, which I'd picked up in a previous sale at some point, and I actually cut out the size 14. And then, in addition to cutting out the size 14, I tried on my old dresses of that pattern, and I was like, it was squishing my bust down so much because I'm full of milk. So yeah, my body has just changed, right? So I knew that I needed to size up, but I also felt like I might have needed a full bust adjustment. So thankfully, Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery had done a FBA on this very same pattern, and we were actually the same size in this pattern. So I just followed exactly what she said. I gave myself only a 1 inch full bust adjustment, which equates to adding 2 inches all around, because you do 1 to each side, of course. So adding 2 inches to the finished garment measurement. So going from 39 inches, which was the finished garment measurement at the bust for a size 14, adding 2 inches, so going to a 41. I'm currently at, my bust right now is measuring 39 inches. So I felt like 2 inches of ease is good. Anyway, because it is a V-neck, I often wear something layered underneath it, but for the purposes of this dress, I didn't want to have to like think about a separate layer and all of that. So I actually want to create like a modesty panel that will just be in the garment. So I'm currently working on trying to create a pattern from this pattern here. So I'm just using some paper and trying to figure out how to like create a V that can sit within that bodice section so that it's just a part of the dress and I don't always have to look for this undergarment every time I want to wear this dress. Speaking of this dress, let me talk about fabrics. I went ahead, my motto for making this dress was that I was going to be toiling. So I did do some toiles for this. And when I say toiles, I'm planning to line this dress. So I was just doing the wearable toiles in the lining material because when they work, that's what I'm going to use as my lining. So I'm using this really vibrant highlighter orange fabric, which you might remember from my vacation sort of collection that I did last year. This was the like duster that I made. It's the fabric of that. It feels like a tencel or some sort of like rayon or viscose fabric. That's what it feels like, but it's definitely breathable. I had done a burn test on a swatch of it and it burns like with an ash on it. So here is the burn test that I did on there. And if you see the way that it burns, led me to believe like this is some sort of natural-esque fabric. It doesn't have like those hard crunchy bits that synthetic or polyester fabrics have. So I'm hoping that that will be cool and breathable against my skin, which is what I want, and allow me to then not get too sweaty, because the main fabric is this orangey fabric that I picked up in Paris when I went in December, and it is a poly satin fabric. Why did I have to go all the way to France to get poly satin? Child, I don't know. I wasn't looking for it. I was really hoping for something a bit more luxurious, but this is what we came back with. But it was in the color scheme of the bridesmaids dresses that we needed to get. And to be quite frank, I had checked on some other websites and actually couldn't find the shade of orange. Whatever. This is the fabric that we're using. Some of my considerations is that I know I perspire quite a bit. It's going to be a May wedding. It's outdoors. I don't know what the weather is going to do that day. And if the sun is blessing us, I might then get hot. Okay, so I'm like trying to find a way that I don't like sweat through this dress. That's unsightly, especially in like satiny fabrics where you get those like sweat stains. I don't like that. So I am trying to make sure that the lining is breathable. Hopefully that wicks some stuff away. And then for that modesty panel, another thing that I'm going to layer on top of it, I have this like textured fabric that I picked up in a remnant or clearance area at Joann's once upon a time. But this fabric is like my skin tone. Like if this were makeup, it would blend right in. So I love this. And this is like not far from it, but if you see those two things layered together, it's quite effective, I think. And I think from far away, you won't see it as like a print or something too busy. I think it will just sort of like melt into my skin. That's the hope. But the reason I want to add this is because it's sort of variegated. It has like some dimension in the coloring. I had tested it out by spraying water on it. If I were to sweat onto this fabric, it wouldn't show through if this was on top of it because of all of that like dimension and texture. Like you won't notice that I'm sweating profusely. And that's sort of protection I need. That's sort of comfort I want. Because we gonna cut a rug. We're gonna shake a tail feather. It's gonna be great. So I just want to be as happy as pie and not be worrying about that. So that's my consideration, and I am going to try and figure out how to make this work and see how I can, embed it directly into the dress seamlessly. I have starched this within an inch of its life, as you can see here. So this is the usual drape of this fabric, and this is what I've done with it. Okay, it is holding itself together. This is it folded over, so it's two pieces just because I wanted there to be a clean edge here, and I'm going to figure out how to cut this out and make it work. That's what I was currently drafting and figuring out. I have recorded like almost vlog style the making of this dress, as I did with the making of the blazer, as I did with the Estella dress. There are so many like backlogged videos that I have just snippets of that my hope is to put those together for you all at some point so that I can kind of walk you through the making of some of these things. And I hope even if you've already seen the final piece that would still be interesting to you. So we'll see how it goes. Any Hoosers, I am going to be adding a full circle skirt to this. I have already cut that out and it is hanging. I learned my lesson from the shorts. I went ahead and cut that out, and I am making it like T length. So it's going to be about at my ankles. And that is a length I felt pretty happy with. Here is the bodice out of the fashion fabric with that 1-inch FBA adjustment. And I'm stalled right here because I'm chickening out on what kind of sleeves I want. I could of course go with what the sleeves are for the pattern, which I've done before in a previous iteration of this dress. But I was like, is that fancy enough? Like, do I go bigger? Do I go bolder? There's so many different types of sleeve options that I've done, some that I've seen. I don't want to try anything new. So I want to go with something that I have done before, but I'm battling right now with proportions because it's going to be a slightly full skirt. I am planning to wear a petticoat under it. Like, do I also want the sleeve to be voluminous, or do I just want it to be like kind of simple, you know? I don't know. I don't know. So that's what I'm battling. And then I wanted to add some embellishments because I felt like otherwise, because I've made this dress before, in my mind it just feels like you've done this before, like it feels plain. So this is one of the trims that I picked up when I went to Guinea last summer. So I was really excited to pull this out of my stash. I also plan to put this at the very bottom hem of the circle skirt. So I'm excited about that. And because I have like yards of it, I'm not nervous that I'll run out. So I get to embellish as much as I want. So I decided to add it to the neckline as well as the midriff section. So that'll go right before the circle skirt is attached. So I felt like that would add just a little bit. I'm not gonna have a necklace, but we'll have gold earrings. So I kind of like that it has that orange and gold in there. So imagine that flanked like that. Kind of what it's gonna look like. So that's that. I have to figure out sleeves, and I want to figure that out today. This dress, I have a vlog which I'll try and link, that is me sewing up my So Yellow for Endo dress. And Umo, are you shaking the baby? Do not shake the baby, please. So this is, and I was able to sew that dress up in 2 days. This is taking me, it's like a week. We're coming up on a week. But this is my new norm.
Here's that it looks like a walkie-talkie.
Okay, it's because we're talking to each other, so that's why it looks like a walkie-talkie. I'm just like embracing my new schedule of sewing because sometimes I come down here after I fed him and laid him down, and I could have 37 minutes. I could also have like 2 hours, right? I don't know when he's gonna call for his next feeding or snack, right? I just have to be available, and that's okay. It is what it is, and there's still time, so I'm working on it. As soon as I figure out the sleeve, I would like to have the sleeves on here before I attach the circle skirt because I don't want all of the weight of the circle skirt on this bodice, like trying to fiddle with attaching the sleeve with all of that added weight from the skirt onto it. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I want to make sure that the bodice is sort of done and everything is ready to go with that. It's been nice. I've been texting with Deneen and Tashana, like, here's where I'm at. Here are the updates. This is what things are. And hopefully, and getting their feedback along the way, but it looks like we're excited about it, so we'll see. So it's been nice to have them, you know, on standby when I have not been able to post videos and ask for everyone's like consensus on how things are going. So that's been what I've been doing. I hope that by the next video I have the reveal of this beautiful dress. It will probably not go up next. I'll see what I put out or when the next video is, but I am super excited about just what's to come. I am so excited to begin to do some full sewing. Again, it's coming to May and I've made myself 2 lounge sets, 2 maternity lounge sets for the entirety of the year, and I have been sewing quite frequently, so it's kind of interesting, like this, the fact that my mind has been able to like let go of the need to like sew for myself, and me really embracing the slow sew. And as I've taken on some of these like wedding related sewing projects, which has been really cool. And Deneen has been sewing up a storm. My best friend, she's been sewing up a storm. Like, I want to do a makes video, and I was like, can we just do it together, because I got about 3 things to show the people, but you have so many. So I think together, collectively, you all would have a really great time watching and seeing different makes, because I don't have a lot to show you, because everything I've done has just taken me forever to do. But that's okay. So I am going to go and check on the little one, and when I'm done, I'm going to come down here and try and make a crack on this and figure out the situation with the like modesty panel that I want to create. And if I feel good about where the bodice is, then I can move on to sleeves. And then really, because the circle skirt is already made up, I added pockets to it. I will be carrying the lip gloss day of the wedding. And I am going to then make a half circle skirt, I believe, out of the lining fabric and attach it to the lining bodice. And then I can like put the dress together. I would love to be done with this dress this weekend. And that would, because Deneen's goal is to have like all of the making things done on her to-do list done by Monday. And while that doesn't necessarily have to relate to me, I like that idea of being like done with the making stuff and then focus on just like prep and other types of prep that need to happen. And like just slow down. I might even make myself something for the rehearsal dinner if I get this done in time, like I can start focusing on other just fun makes that are exciting me. I have so many ideas for maternity friendly sewing projects that I plan to do this summer, digging into my stash a bit more. Like, I'm just looking at fabrics and I'm like, I can't wait to use you, and I can't wait to be down here and have baby boy just sitting in his little bassinet or bouncer and just like get a couple of seams in here and there. Okay, I cannot wait to start sewing again and dive into that a little bit. So I'm gonna see if I can cobble this video together a little bit and share it with you. Hopefully you look forward to seeing some of the behind the scenes videos that are to come of the makings, a bit more in depth, in detail, maybe pattern review style for some of these makes that we've been doing. And also, I would love to do like a Me Made May pledge since May is coming up, and think through what I want my Me Made May to be for me this year and what I'd like to concentrate and focus on. So lots of things that I'm super excited about. I'm glad that I just flipped on the camera. There's so much to think about when you're like fitting and trying to sew and fitting garments to yourself. So I have not been like camera ready for a lot of those because I'm trying on things and taking them off. So I can't always just pop the camera on because modesty. But today I was like, let me just pop on here real quick and just say hi to the people. I'm not wearing anything Me Made. This was a robe that was gifted to me by one of my colleagues, my coworkers, as I was about to leave for maternity leave. And it's just so cozy and I love it. I did wear my maternity lounge set, the one that had the good vibes on it, at the hospital. I took that with me. I packed it in my hospital bag and I got to wear it, and all the nurses were like, your pajamas are so nice. I was like, thank you so much. And one of them was like, where'd you get that from? And I was like, I made it, and it was a thing. So that was really cool. I have worn the other lounge set as well, and primarily the top. I've worn that a lot. I have worn it with the shorts just around the house, but even in going out, I have worn just the top, and it's been super helpful. Like if we had to go for doctor's visits and stuff, because I could nurse him, and it was fabulous. So I would like to make more nursing friendly things, and I'm planning to turn over my closet soon. So going under the bed, pulling out the spring summer wear and seeing what I actually have that's wearable for me this spring summer, not just because my size has changed, but also because I am focused on like what's nursing friendly, and some of the dresses that either are like knit dresses that I can still fit that would work for me. If like most of them I will have to pack up, like my beloved ME2064, because they are not nursing friendly, but I plan to hack that pattern and make it nursing friendly. But I am going to, you know, actually see like what do I actually want to wear and what can I actually wear that's going to be nursing friendly this summer, because that's top priority for me. But yeah, that's what you can sort of look forward to. I'm so happy to be back. I've missed you all. I will see when the next video can come out. I'm on no timeline as of right now. I'm just gonna try and get in where I could fit in, and I hope that you guys enjoy the videos as they come out. But yeah, I really appreciate you for sticking around, for still being here, for being curious about possibly where I've been. And yeah, I'm trying to enjoy this newborn phase. It's wild to me that a month has already passed. Like maybe I should have done more like infant sniffs and like, you know, because he's growing so fast already. And I was like, wow, I gotta take some photos of this guy before he's big. So I'm trying to enjoy it as much as possible, because the way that this month ran and flew by, if that is any indication of how the rest of my leave is gonna go, I'll be back to work before I know it. So I'm really gonna try after the wedding to like really take my time and enjoy this blessed time that I have to just like slow down, take a beat, and enjoy my family. Because I haven't had that. In my previous pregnancies, I've had 1 month off and then I was back to work for both of my older kids. So I'm like putting that and processing it like at this time in my like recovery journey for my previous 2 children. I was preparing to go back to work at this time, 28 days, which is crazy. So I'm looking forward to just like basking in this, going for walks. It's getting really beautiful outside, and enjoying my kiddos and my family. But I hope you all are doing well. Happy Friday. And I don't know, like leave a comment down below. Are you excited to see how this bridesmaid's dress turns out? Which make did I talk about that you're most excited to see the behind the scenes, you know, video of? And I can't wait to get those to you. Bye for now. Stay creative, folks. Bye.